Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Satisfactory 1.0. My name is Thomas, and this is episode number 12. In today's episode, we are going to be upgrading our concrete factory. So, with that said, let's get started with today's episode. So, I deleted the old factory, which was just one constructor producing some concrete. I think it was 15 per minute. It's time to upgrade it now because we are building bigger and bigger factories, which means more demand on concrete. To match that, we have to make more. So I have a miner right here on a normal node of limestone. I think it's normal. Let's press E and I'm going to overclock this to 120. It's going to require 2 power shards. Okay, so the reason why I chose 120 is because that is the max amount a Mark II conveyor belt can hold. Okay, so that doesn't make sense to add a third shard in here and say 150 because we only have a conveyor belt that can support 120. All right, so that's the reason behind that. Now that it's set at 120, we can start with this build. So up the ladder I go. Okay, so I'm going to place down 3 constructors. So we'll do one here, one there, and one there. Now it's time to set up the exact ratios for each constructor. So let's take a look at the first one. So the first one is going to be producing 15 concrete per minute. And remember, we're working with 120 limestone per minute. So we have 45 per minute. Okay, so one constructor will produce 45 per minute. So if I hit N, I say 45 times 3, the 3 represents the 3 constructors. It's going to say 100. Hey, look, I need 135 iron ore to support 3 constructors running at 100%. Unfortunately, we only have 120 to work with. So one of the constructors is not going to be running at 100%. So let's figure out how we can get 3 constructors to run off 120 ore per minute. So I'm going to say it's going to be 30 plus 45 plus 45 gives me 120. So one constructor is going to be underclocked to 30 limestone per minute instead of the 45. That way we'll get a total of 120 a minute, which will be a perfect ratio. That's what we're looking for, 100%, so that we have a clean and efficient factory. Nothing is being wasted. We're not over consuming. We're not producing over too much power or consuming too much power. We want a perfect ratio factory here. Okay, so let's use this third constructor to set this to 30 per minute. That's going to be 10 per minute. And there you go. It's 30 per minute. So we have 30. And this one's going to be 45. And this one's going to be 45. And that's a total of 120. Excellent. Now that we have our constructors at our perfect ratio, we can begin routing the conveyor belt and the splitters. So I'm going to copy the conveyor splitter and I am going to place one here, one there. And then I am going to route in the limestone. And The limestone. Oops, this one's wrong. So let's readjust this like that. Okay, cool. And uh-oh, we are out of reinforced iron plates. So let's deviate and head to our reinforced iron plate factory. And isn't that wonderful? It's like I almost planned this out. That's why it's so good to always automate your product. Never handcraft, try not to anyways. Because if we had to handcraft, we'd have to be doing that for a few minutes. Now we can just come over here, take all, and that's it. We're ready to go. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Okay. And yes, gliding right over to the new factory, the concrete factory. And yeah, we're just slowly progressing through this playthrough. No rush, no rush. We want to do everything correctly and try to be creative at the same time and try new things, but always keeping in mind a efficient and effective factory. Okay, so the lime is going to go in the constructors, and then we got to do the output now. Okay, so I am going to use a merger since we are merging these. And I'm going to say I want it to go here and here. And so we're producing how many limestone per minute? Let's check it out. Concrete, excuse me. So we got 10, 15, and 15. So 10 and 10, 20 plus 2 5s. That's 30. 40 concrete per minute, right? 10, 20, 30, 40 concrete per minute. We can use the Mark 1 conveyor belt that supports up to 60 items per minute. So we are safe to use Mark 1s here. Okay, excellent. Now let's head back up on our ladder so that we can see what we're doing. Never want to build on the surface because you can't see the factory. All right, so I'm going to actually extend this out one more foundation. Let's stylize our platform, of course, with the factory zones. And let's switch over to the asphalt. And yeah, look at this really weird bug. As I place the asphalt down, it randomly smashes the factory zone everywhere. It's a weird bug. Okay, cool. Now let's head over to organization and place the storage container right here. And in goes the concrete to be stored up for later use. Wonderful. Now we need to place the power poles. So let's go ahead and plop these down. So there we go. There we go. And there we go. And let's route our poles together. Looks good. And now let's route the poles to the constructors. Okay, now let's route the power to the miner. That's producing 120 limestone per minute. And let's hook this up. And again, we're going to fix this. Once we get the power tower, we're going to reroute the power and make it a whole lot cleaner. And let's just make sure. Okay, here comes the limestone. All right, everybody, get ready. Get ready to sit back and watch the factory automate itself. Now, I'm going to get a better seat by going up a bit higher. And let's sit back and appreciate this wonderful concrete factory. Okay, so in order for this to work out 100%, the constructors have to back up with the product. Once they're backed up, then they will run at 100%. So that takes a while, but let's jump down and take a look. All right, so okay, that's a problem. There we go. All right, so as you can see, this is running at 100%. It says 100%, we're good to go. This is running at 100%, but that's because we backed up some limestone. I have a feeling. Just gonna take a look at this. Yeah, this is going down rapidly. So I have a feeling that the first constructor needs to back up first, and then this will be at 100%. Soon this is gonna like dip down to like 90%. Yep, there it is. So we just missed one there. And another one there. So now we're down to 99%. 98%. So my theory is right. This one needs to back up with limestone first. So you can see that the limestone is building up. Once it builds up, it will push the extra limestone to the second constructor. And then this one will be running at 100%. But for now, it's going to be running at 96% until that gets backed up there. And then let's take a look at this one. This one's working at 100%. That's good. I'm going to remove that limestone, and then that's going to kind of reset it. And then I'm going to place that limestone back in here. Okay, so yeah, this is going to be running at 100%. Because it's only requiring 10 per minute. $30 per minute, excuse me. So this should be going up here. Because we'll take a look at this. Yeah, it's not missing a beat. So that will get there. This one, yep, it's backing up. It's at 66. 87%. 98%. So we had to let this factory work itself a bit before it runs at 100%. So what we're going to do is we're gonna unlock some items in the awesome shop real quick, and there's some items I want to help me complete the rest of the look of my factory. I know some of you guys have been stressing about my floating factories. I'm going to address that in the latter part of this episode here. As you can see, I am in the middle of deconstructing the power grid up here. I'm going to bring it down to the surface. But yeah, that's why the foundation is missing. Let's take a look and see how many coupons we have. We have 11, so I'm going to go ahead and print those out. Let's go shopping. So I'm going to unlock the concrete wall. Okay, and I want the industrial railing, so I'm going to add that. And then lastly, I want the conveyor walls.
All Fix-It Awesome Shop purchases are purely intended for professional Fix-It employee business.
Yeah. Hmm. All right, so I'm actually going to trim this back a bit. And I'm also going to then put this back like that. And let's get rid of the zone. There. Okay, so let's go ahead and use our new rails to cordon off our factory so that no pioneers get injured. Now, one of the things I learned about these rails is that there's an inside and there's an outside. So this is the outside, and then this one is for the inside. So it looks slightly different. So I just noticed that. Okay, so let's route that in. Making sure the inside is really in the inside. Yep, looks good. Okay, excellent. Now it's really starting to look like a real factory. And then now we can come over here and grab some concrete. So now let's turn this floating building into a structure that has, some real life application like foundations and support beams and some walls. So I purposely put the conveyor belt in the center of the foundation so that I can place my conveyor wall over here like this. Now I want to change this to concrete. So I have to delete that and replace it. And there's the concrete. And then let's head over to the basic wall that's now concrete and let's stretch it over. I know this is really going to make a lot of people happy. Okay. Okay, and don't worry about the clipping of the wires. We'll fix those in a future episode. All right, now we have to place foundation to this building. So I'm going to start here and hide this floating foundation. Make it look like there is some support going on with it. So let's do that. Okay, that looks a whole lot better, doesn't it? Ah, yes, it looks like there's some foundation. Okay, now let's add some support beams here. I'm just gonna crouch, place this down. And yeah, so there's one side. Let's go ahead and now add in our industrial rails. Again, making sure the inside is on the inside and the outside on the outside. Okay, look, it's all coming together. Now we can place a ladder here and here. Nah, we'll leave it. Leave it right here. Wow, look at the moon. Isn't it gorgeous? Okay, cool. Let's now do the 3 remaining pillars. So we'll do this one, this one, that one, and that one. Now, we don't need one here because it's kind of buried in the sand as it is acting like a support, but we could put one right here. Okay, and then let's place another one right there. And we can sneak under here and place the next one right there. Okay, so now that corner has some support. And then let's do the final section here. And there we have it, everybody. That is our first ever completed factory in Satisfactory. Yeah, isn't that satisfaction right there? And then we can go and say, hey, let's place a ladder here. Let's get rid of that. And voila, look at that. What a beautiful factory. And, you know, let's end today's episode by placing down a ladder and talk about what we're going to do in the next episode. Okay, everybody, that is today's episode. We have completed the concrete factory. It's a smaller version of it, but we're starting from small and then we are gradually working our way to bigger factories. So patience is key, small chunks at a time, and you know, things are going to start scaling up and becoming very, very complex. So it's best to enjoy the smaller things while they last. Okay, so in the next episode, everybody, we're going to deconstruct the copper factory that's on the sand. We want to take the factory off the sand because the constructors and smelters get really hot on the sand. If we put them on concrete, they cool down and can run at 100% efficiency. So we're going to deconstruct that and then put it on concrete, and then we will also deconstruct the power grid and bring it down here. I will do the power grid off screen, but then we'll do the copper stuff on screen. We'll record that in the next episode. We'll probably be automating copper sheets, copper wire, cables, and yes, those are the items we'll be automating in the next episode. And then beyond that, it's going to be smart plating, frames, and I believe rotors. Yep, and then we're going to get the space elevator, of course. Let's take a look and see if this last constructor is running at 100%. It's still at 82%. Let's see if this is backed up yet. Not quite. Not quite. It is backed up right here, but this has got to back up fully. And I think this has to back up too. Ah, yes, so this one also has to back up. So once this backs up, it will pass the limestone. The limestone will start backing up, and then it'll feed right into here to run at 100%. So again, this is going to take some time to run at 100%, but we will get there eventually. It will get there. It's all set up to do it. So that's it for today's episode. It's a bit shorter one. That's all right. You guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next episode where we will automate the copper factory. You guys take care. Adios. Bye.